Yo, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? I'm just on here popping up to talk, some little news today. How y'all doing, everybody? Hope everybody having a good weekend. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, I think so. Wait, anyway, can y'all hear me out there? Anyway, hey, check this out, people. This morning I wake up and check out the news, and just when you think things can't get no worse, like this world is coming to an end. Like no respect for human beings, none of this shit, right? So in Louisiana, this immigration judge has ruled that Columbia University graduate student Mahmoud Khalil can be deported. He can be deported following his pro-Palestine protests, and he would go to colleges and he would just speak up for his people. Now he haven't harmed anybody, did anything, but they want to deport the man. He has a green card, married, wife is pregnant. But just because he say something negative about Israel, sticking up for his own people, because everybody got the right to live. People in Israel got the right to live, and Palestine too, right? So he's just basically speaking up for his people, for their rights and stuff. So the immigration judge in Louisiana ruled that Trump can deport him because Marco Rubio, the head of the state, went down there and basically said that it's for the good of the country. This guy haven't did no crime, no anything. So Mahmoud could actually miss the birth of his baby. His wife was already in her third semester when police arrested him back in March. This is crazy. I just don't understand like how far this shit can keep going. Let me see. Everything. It's okay. Yolanda says, I pray the world isn't ending, just praying something good will become of it. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's ending, but it's going to put people in a world of hurt. Let's keep it real. And I can't stand the racism of it all. Because at the end of the day, that's where we get into. And it's Mahmoud today, it'll be us tomorrow, right? The guy got a green card. He's standing up for Palestine. What the hell's wrong with that? I don't see nothing wrong with it. But I'm going to play this little clip of them outside the courtroom this morning.
Forward. Correspondent Brooke Taylor, live right near that courthouse in Geno, Louisiana. Tell us what the judge is saying in there, Brooke.
Hi, Martha. Yeah, this has been long anticipated and some major news. Just to first give you some perspective, we're down the street from that ICE detention center. The courtroom is inside of there. They didn't allow any phones or cameras. So we're finding out this information from our reporter who's over there down the street. She tells us, as you just mentioned, the immigration judge has found Mahmoud Khalil removable. Khalil's attorneys have until April 23rd to file relief applications. I asked that reporter what the immigration judge was able to say. She cited those DHS papers and said that the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, was able to meet that burden. And again, they have decided that Mahmoud Khalil is removable. The next question, Martha, of course, his attorneys are going to fight this, but how long that process is going to take right now for him to be deported.
See, they have no reason to deport this man, but that's what they continually want to do. They just want to ride down, pick up who they want, deport them. But it's just crazy. And let's keep it real. They ain't deporting no white person. If you're a minority, and then they'll just keep doing it and say you either broke the law, you either a gang member, but they constantly just want to just kick you down the road. And I think it's just messed up. I think it's messed up. And shit, I don't think we got too much time for it. Donna says they've been put in Republican judges, insurance and cops, local and state. Yeah, they almost like fixing the system so they can have all the power and then just break all the rules they fucking want to. Because that's basically where we at. And at the end of the day, this affecting real people's lives. And they doing it because of racism? Racism. It just don't, I don't know. I mean, because I was going to wait till Monday to do this thing, but it's been on my mind for the last couple of hours. I was like, well, I'll just jump on, instead of going on TikTok and doing it. That's only like a minute, 2 or 3 minutes. So I was like, I'll just come and hang out with y'all and just talk about it. But this is crazy. This is crazy. What's up, LeVar? I see you in there. Let me see. Anybody got anything? But anyway, so punk ass Marco Rubio go down there and he don't have no spine. Would do anything Trump tell him to do. If I remember right, his wife Hispanic or something, right? I'm not sure what Marco Rubio wife is, but they just feel like they're above the law, and that man don't have no spine. Going down there, this guy has no criminal record, no nothing. No nothing. And that's what they do. Hey, Carrie, I see you in there. But anyway, let me play this one clip of his wife. This is his wife, and this this is the part that messed me up, is they think they playing these games, but they actually ruining families. Just messing things up.
As we're getting a lot closer to my due date, it's just like scary, the uncertainty. I'm not gonna lie, like I am scared, and I hope he can be there with me, but it's starting to creep in that might not be the case.
I spoke with Dr. Noor Abdullah, who watched plainclothes immigration police arrest her husband in New York City in the middle of the night. Mahmoud, a Columbia grad student and lawful permanent resident, played a key role last spring in campus protests against Israel's war on Gaza.
When people are asking me questions like, why did he decide to participate in protests? And like, when was the turning point in his life that he decided he needs to speak about Palestine? And I keep saying, I'm like, he's Palestinian. Like, the day he was born was the day that he decided to speak up for Palestine,
Mahmoud was born in Syria to Palestinian refugees and grew up unable to access his homeland. He later fled Syria's Assad regime, moving to Lebanon and becoming what Noor calls a double refugee.
But I think that's the reason that he's the calm person in this relationship, because he's gone through so many struggles in his life that he knows, like, at the end of the day, regardless of what happens, as long as we're healthy, we're okay. Nothing else matters.
In 2016, Mahmoud was working for an educational nonprofit in Lebanon when he met Noor, a U.S. citizen who was volunteering with the program.
I still remember, like, the first time I met Mahmoud, we were on the bus that was taking us to one of the schools that we were going to be teaching at, and people were just, like, mesmerized by him, and I was too. I was one of them. The way he speaks, the way he talks, it's hard not to listen to him. And I remember thinking, like, wow, this guy is going to change the world.
The two fell in love and eventually married in 2023. They're expecting their first child this year.
Was Mahmoud excited to become a father?
So excited. Every day he would come up with like a new topic to talk to our son about, right, while he's in my stomach. So he would like put his head on my belly and like start telling him stories. It would be about like ethics or about Palestine or, like just different things. He'd tell him stories. And, I think that's also like a fear for him, missing the birth of his child and missing those first hours. I think he's really scared about that happening. But at this point, unfortunately, it's out of both of our controls.
After Mahmoud's arrest, authorities transferred him to an immigration detention center over 1,000 miles away on the other side of the country.
I don't think I got a single minute of sleep that night. Next day, we had no idea. I also didn't know where he was. I hadn't heard from him. Didn't hear from him until Monday. And at that point, he was already in Louisiana.
Immigration police have also transferred international students Rumeysa Ozturk and Ali Reza Daroudi and professor and postdoc Badar Khan Suri to the same jurisdiction. As of March 28th, the State Department says the U.S. has revoked over 300 international student visas. In an op-ed dictated from prison, Mahmoud called out Colombia for its lack of support.
How do you feel now knowing that Colombia has turned its back on him?
Not a single person of leadership has reached out to me from Colombia, even if it's just like asking, how are you doing? Do you need our support? Do you need our help? So it's frustrating when an institution that you're paying a lot of money to just kind of turns their back on you.
Immigration authorities continue to hold Mahmoud in detention with no criminal charges. Noor says it's important to zoom out to the big picture.
My pregnancy and our story has been on every single news channel. Like, you can't see Mahmoud Khalil without seeing 8-month pregnant wife. Then you think about, what about the women in Gaza that are also pregnant, that are not able to have their stories heard? They end up giving birth without their loved ones while their homes are being bombed.
Israeli forces have killed over 50,000 Palestinians in Gaza since the attacks began in October 2023. Thousands more remain unaccounted for among the rubble and are now presumed dead. Noor says it's not hard to see why Mahmoud joined the campus protests last spring and continues to fight today.
The U.S. does fund a lot of the weapons, if not all of the weapons that are killing the people in Palestine. When you're living in a country that is doing that and you're paying taxes and your taxes are going towards these things, towards killing your people, that's something that I don't think anybody needs to think twice about standing up for and about talking about.
See, look, this is all messed up, right? Like, and I think all this had to do with Israel, their love affair with Israel. Nobody's saying that people in Israel don't have a right to live. We all have the right to live. So this guy go through all this, and he don't supposed to have no pride in his community. He shouldn't have no words to say when his people are dying. Like, this shit is just too much. And then Trump don't give a damn. And of course, the people underneath him, if they cared, they ain't got no spine to say a damn thing. They just doing what the hell Trump tell them to do. And I just think it's messed up because this racism shit is bad. And when you don't have freedom of speech, this guy got a green card, everything, no criminal records, but they sitting there wanting to deport him because, oh, he said something positive about the people in Palestine. I mean, it's just outrageous to me. It's just racist. It's just crazy, right? So that's pretty much what they got. It's just they just messing around. And damn, just they don't give a damn about no human life unless it's their own. It's just sort of sad. Let's see. Let's see. And somebody said, I don't know. I don't know about all that. Look, people protest every day. When we go out and actually there's a protest coming up on the 19th. Nobody deserves to be arrested for freedom of speech. If you ain't out there breaking the law, doing all these things, shit shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't happen, right? And him going to colleges, they ain't out there arresting the Klan when they out there saying crazy shit about minorities, blacks. They ain't arresting them, deporting their asses. Then people say, well, they're a citizen. Well, the guy came over here legally. He got his green card, doing whatever. His wife's a doctor. And they just feel like they can just throw him out to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what they're doing. And then the crazy part about it is that judge, that the immigration judge that ruled in favor of Trump, this is her and her family members. And you see the guy with the Trump shirt on? So they all in cahoots. Do y'all see that Trump right there? It's just, I don't know. It's too much for me. Too much. Let me see, what's this? No, the economic protest is not a waste of time. I mean, because I'm planning on being there on Saturday, on the 19th. I'm planning on going. Hey, Benita, I see you. Let me see. What else we got over here? What we got? Aries says it's disgusting. It makes sense why Trump wanted to pull funding from the school, meaning get info on the students. Yeah, I mean, trying to get any kind of way to find like the easier way to just go and pick up immigrants, whether you legal, documented, or undocumented, right? That's why they come in with that whole thing where they want you to register. That's the biggest setup I've seen. Register with the government. If not, you can face criminal charges or get fined. That's crazy. That is crazy. They tell me to stay safe. I will. I will. I definitely will. Let me see. Black Anonymous says, you know, Perry, they are saying black people shouldn't go out there and protest because that gives Trump a reason to declare martial law. You know, he's gonna have to do it because I'm definitely going. You know, I mean, because you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. Because if you're Hispanic or Latino and stuff like that, it's not even safe to go outside. Let's keep it real. And I didn't really think about it for real. If it's not your issue, you don't really look at it like that. But the last couple of days, I mean, how can, if you Latino or Hispanic, how can you going to take care of your family? It's not safe to go outside. How many people have got picked up going to work or coming home from work? They'll just ICE will pull you right over. And they ain't taking the criminals, but when they pick you up, the first thing they'll come back and say, oh, you part of MS-13. It's just, you know, shit don't make no sense. Benita says, right, Perry, it is so sad and crazy. I just don't trust Trump at all. No, you can't trust him because I would come out here and say, he's not going to do what all he said he's going to do. But I don't mean that he don't have the racism inside to go. He want to do the things if Trump say he going to do this, those are things he want to do. But half the time, he just ain't got the means to carry out his big plan. Then he'll lie about it or whatnot like that. But trust and believe. When he say he want all the minorities out of this country, that's what the hell he mean. It's not even safe people, innocent people. And you can argue whether they documented, undocumented, people over here seeking asylum. They getting picked up and gone. So he ain't picking up criminals. He picking up anybody he can for a head count and kicking bodies out. And he want to pick up more. So now here's another clip of this Mahmoud, his team, because his college that he graduated from ain't whispered a word. Ain't nobody even called the wife. Nobody. But here's his team giving a speech after the shit this morning.
On behalf of Mahmoud Khalil's support team. Today, an immigration judge ruled that Mahmoud can be removed from this country. A decision as unjust as it is alarming. Despite the government's failure to prove that Mahmoud broke any law, the court has decided that lawful permanent residents can have their status revoked for pro-Palestine advocacy. This is a blatant violation of the First Amendment and a dangerous precedent for anyone who believes in free speech and political expression. But this decision should not pacify you. It should embolden and encourage you. Those who know Mahmoud know him for his fierce commitment to justice and his refusal to back down from even the steepest of challenges. It is Mahmoud's fighting spirit that we must embrace in the following days. While his deportation would devastate his wife and their soon-to-be-born child, it would also intimidate all who dare to speak for Palestinian liberation. In recent weeks, this repression has only intensified, with the visas of students presumed to be pro-Palestine being revoked daily. We must not give in to this chilling effect for Mahmoud, for Rumeysa, for Badr Khan Suri, and for hundreds of others. Mahmoud is currently imprisoned in Louisiana, a state that detains over 7,000 people daily and serves as the second largest hub for immigration detention in the U.S. Louisiana's 9 detention centers, 8 of which are privately operated, include the only ICE facility in the country directly connected to an airport, thus streamlining mass deportations. Across the state, abuse runs rampant. Detainees face solitary confinement, rotting food, medical neglect, and sexual assault. This system is fueled by corporate greed. GEO Group, the private prison company caging Mahmoud, earned over $1 billion from ICE contracts in 2022, while paying detainees less than $1 a day. Profits bolstered by retirement and 401k investments made by everyday people, often unknowingly. At the end of today's hearing, Mahmoud stated the following: I would like to quote what you said last time, that there's nothing that's more important to this court than due process rights and fundamental fairness. Clearly, what we witnessed today, neither of these principles were present today or in this whole process. This is exactly why the Trump administration has sent me to this court 1,000 miles away from my family. I just hope that the urgency that you deemed fit for me is afforded to the hundreds of others who have been here without hearing for months. This is the site of Mahmoud's imprisonment behind us, and yet even from within its walls, he sends you his gratitude for showing up today, for refusing to look away. Your presence here is a declaration. We will not accept the criminalization of dissent against genocide. Free Mahmoud, free all of Gina's prisoners, and free Palestine.
And see, everybody wants to speak up and fight for their own communities, and they act like the people from Palestine don't have the right. I think that's messed up. When you take away freedom of speech, now you got people rioting in the Capitol. Nothing happened to them. And they doing all kind of shit, nasty shit in the White House. Shitting on the walls, doing every damn thing else. Threatening people, killing people. But nothing happens. But now you want to go out here because you want to control every aspect of our life. Where we work, what we do. Now, what the hell we say? If we let this go today, if Trump can deport Mahmoud for exercising his First Amendment rights for free speech, then people trust and believe anybody can be deported. Trump already came out and said, he liked the idea of being able to send American criminals to foreign prisons. And these people that they sending over is not even getting due process. So they can walk up and just say you guilty, throw your ass on a plane, and you gone. With no record. And a lot of us that have citizenship don't realize if you undocumented in America today, this shit is almost like being in a war zone. It's not safe. It's not safe. They constantly picking up people, ripping up families, just for the love of racism. Because that's what it got to be. That's what it got to be. But someone said, I did that. Let me see. No, but it's pretty crazy. And here's this a young lady talking about freedom of speech.
News is that some right-wing rogue judge in Louisiana ruled that Mahmoud Khalil could be deported for his opinions. This is insane. It's unconstitutional. It's unprecedented. This is ridiculous. And I know that they are planning on appealing it, okay? So we're going to be talking about this a lot going forward, but there are a few things that I do want you to keep in mind. Number one, this is an assault on the Constitution. So anyone you hear talk about we love the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. This is an assault on the First Amendment, okay? Non-citizens, permanent residents, green card holders, anybody on U.S. soil is protected by our First Amendment and our Constitution.
This is a judge taking a picture with her family members, and you notice that the guy has a Trump t-shirt on.
Okay? Period. Dot. End of sentence. Anything you hear other than that is a lie. Second of all, if you are an American citizen, this should be terrifying to you. You think that this is where they're going to stop? This is reminding me of when Americans allowed the Patriot Act to go through because they thought that it wasn't going to affect them. LOL. It always comes home to roost, okay? Chickens always come home to roost. If you give them an inch, when it comes to our First Amendment, and it is first for a reason, you never give the censors an inch. You never give them an inch, because once they take an inch, they take a mile. The First Amendment needs to be protected at all costs. Period. Because even if you are a racist Islamophobe that doesn't care about the Palestinian people, to allow this precedent to be set and this assault to happen on our First Amendment opens the door for them to further assault our rights. And it won't stop with Palestine. Mahmoud Khalil is a canary in the coal mine. So anybody cheering this is your enemy. Understand that. And I'd like to point out that all the frauds in the intellectual dark web, remember that? They're all cheering it too. Your rights are being taken away on behalf of a foreign government. Do you understand that? Your rights are being taken away on behalf of a foreign government. This is all happening because of the Israeli lobby. Trump just appointed somebody to his cabinet to oversee anti-Semitism. Isn't even fucking American. He's an Israeli. What are we doing here? People are having their rights assaulted on behalf of a foreign government. And our lawmakers are not doing anything to stand up for him because they are all paid off by AIPAC too. They are all owned by the Israeli lobby too. Because what they're really angry about is not that he was anti-Semitic or pro-Hamas. They're mad that people were protesting divesting from the Israeli regime because apparently we're not allowed to do that. These are the people that call themselves America First, by the way. These are the people like, oh, this is America First. People like fucking Batya, Ungar, Sargon, and Megyn Kelly and all these other frauds. While they profit off of this and built multi-million-dollar platforms off of pretending to care about free speech, only to turn around and cheer. All of them are cheering this assault on our First Amendment on behalf of a foreign government. And nice precedent you're setting there. I'd also like to remind Jordan Peterson, who also made a lot of American dollars off of pretending to be pro-free speech, that you're a foreigner. You don't even go here. You're not American. So all of you that are cheering this, keep that in mind, because what can be used on people now can always be used on your side later. And I would implore all of you to not allow xenophobia or partisanship to get you to go along with losing your own rights. Free Mahmoud Khalil.
Yeah, Queen Black. I see a lot of trolls. I can't catch them all. It's a lot of them because they don't want us to have this conversation about them just being straight up racist. And now we calling them out and how they want to just regulate. So they got to come over here and disrupt. But if they were so happy, they'd be out there enjoying themselves in the street because Orange Head is in the office. So, but maybe they aren't as happy as we think they are. But no, it's crazy. Like, if they can get away with this, people, they can get away with anything. This shit is not safe. It's just not safe for minorities to be out there, especially if you Latino and Hispanic. That shit ain't safe. They trying to pick up anybody, everybody they can. They don't give a damn if you're an American citizen. They just scooping you up. It's almost like they get up and follow you to work and then wait for you to get off. But if all this stuff was different, let's keep it real. Like they'll say, oh, national security. You just backing Israel. And nobody's saying they don't have the right to live, but people in Palestine got the right to live too. So if this wasn't Trump administration doing this shit, it'd be hell on wheels all over the newspapers, right? It'd be all over the newspapers. But let's switch roles and act like it was somebody else. Let's play this clip.
Well, just let's think about this if the shoe was on the other foot, because, you know, I've kind of engaged with some of my more conservative leaning subscribers and readers on this. Imagine if the Biden administration was moving to deport a Christian activist here in the United States and send them back to their home country, who was here illegally, was a permanent resident, had a green card. And when asked for evidence, they simply go to the judge and say that this person was transphobic, and the Secretary of State, John Kerry, deemed them a threat to national security. That's basically the entire evidence that we've seen given from the Trump administration that, oh, hey, look at this Columbia University student. He was anti-Semitic, and he is a threat to America's national interests, our foreign relations, our kind of foreign affairs. That's it. That's the entire case presented to the court. It really just defies any kind of logic, any kind of principle around free speech, for any kind of conservative who has been bleeding about this issue of free speech and a free, open society, exchange of free expression. To see so many people who are just silent on this issue, who have kind of towed the party line, I just find it disgusting. If this was being applied to almost any other group on any other kind of major issue, there would be a larger uproar. But because this is something that is in defense of Israel, that is on a kind of hated minority group, these students who protest Israel's actions in the Gaza war, it's somehow justifiable. I mean, there's really no defense.
I mean, there's so many ironies to it. Imagine as well, like I take your example, but imagine if, say, Joe Biden decided that he was going to deport anybody who was making statements or expressing views that the administration regarded as racist against black people, say criticizing the Black Lives Matter movement or challenging the new gender ideology, saying there are only two genders, or speaking against feminism, which they regard as misogynistic, or any of those other views that have been targeted with censorship. Imagine people who criticized Joe Biden for financing the war in Ukraine, and the Biden administration said, oh, these people are promoting Russian propaganda and therefore are a threat to national security. It's so ironic that, of course, they would be so indignant about that. Oh, this is tyranny. This is authoritarianism. This is repression, violation of the First Amendment. Now, because it's a topic they regard as sacred or they're too afraid to speak out on, which is Israel, they either are silent, as you said, or even actively justifying.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the crazy part too. Here in the United States, being an American is not what people make it out to be. Because if you ain't white, you ain't gonna get the same treatment. That's just straight up and period, right? But they rather have Israel's side over a war going back and forth. Like I said, both sides deserve the right to live, right? But they won't stick up for the blacks that's getting getting treated with racism or getting targeted by the Klan and everybody else. They don't have that same energy for that. They don't have the same energy. But they want to just say the people from Palestine can't have a voice. If they was out there riding and doing like they did the White House on January 6th, now it's ironic that they can do that, but a guy can't go to a peaceful protest and speak on his own community and his people, where you got people dying. Everybody's seen the news. Everybody's seen the torture that's over there in Palestine. It's just crazy. It's crazy. And then while they rounding up all these so-called gang members, undocumented and documented people, that they picking them up and sending them. They'll pick you up from New Jersey. They're gonna send you to Louisiana. They sending you away so can't nobody keep tracks on you, where you can't see a lawyer, where you can't do stuff, things like that. And they sending them to this little prison. I think this town probably only have like maybe 4,000 people in it. But I'm gonna play y'all this little clip too.
The U.S. keeps sending detained pro-Palestine activists to Louisiana. In early March, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, abducted Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian graduate of Columbia University, inside his university housing in New York and sent him to a detention center in Louisiana. Just weeks later, ICE detained Ali Reza Daroudi, an Iranian doctoral student at the University of Alabama, and sent him to the same facility, the Central Louisiana ICE Processing Center, or CLIPC. And about 2 hours down the road, Tufts University doctoral student Rumeysa Osterk is being held at the Southern Louisiana ICE Processing Center. So why are non-citizens from different states ending up in Louisiana? Well, it's partly because ICE is a federal agency. That means agents can arrest and detain non-citizens anywhere in the US, and Louisiana has some of the harshest immigration jails and courts in the country. That brings us to Gina, Louisiana, a remote town with just over 4,100 people. And the largest employer in Gina? The CLIPC facility. CLIPC has long been notorious for allegations of severe abuse. Human rights workers and reporters have documented multiple cases in which people held there were killed by apparent medical neglect. What's more, the vast majority of people held at CLIPC don't have attorneys, and nearly a third of detainees reported prolonged detentions, often without explanation or information about a hearing. And even when detained people do have attorneys, accessing legal assistance is still a challenge. As of 2016, CLIPC only had one attorney-client visitation room. Detainees are rarely granted access to the law library or not even told it exists. They're often denied translation services too, which can delay their hearings by months. And of course, whether or not a detained individual has a lawyer greatly impacts their outcome. Detainees who have access to lawyers are 10.5 times more likely to succeed in their cases than those without. CLIPC is not an anomaly in Louisiana. Legal experts have documented similar civil rights abuses at multiple ICE detention facilities, including SLIPC, where Ramesa Ostrick is being held. And when they finally get to court, detained people in Louisiana say they're railroaded by judges who are biased against them. Detainees who don't speak English face further barriers. In August 2024, the American Civil Liberties Union interviewed an Ethiopian man whose proceedings were rescheduled 8 times because the court couldn't find an interpreter. And on top of all of that, detainees face a high chance of deportation. At one immigration court in Gina, 80% of asylum cases are rejected. Clearly, due process is a rarity in these remote Louisiana immigration jails and courts. Civil rights groups say part of why these systems have been able to get away with violating people's civil rights is that they often operate in the shadows, in rural towns miles away from attorneys and press and family members. But with the world's eyes on Mahmoud Khalil and those arrested in his wake, these abuses are starting to come to light.
Yeah, so they isolate these people. They send them to these damn detention camps where can't nobody find them. And God knows, if you go to El Salvador, you almost can hang it up, people. Let's keep it real. Nobody, no record of what's going on. So far away, can't nobody pop in and get a quick visit. This is crazy. Like, didn't Hitler do this back in the day? And nobody really knew because they was like, well, it's not the mass people just filtering out. No, they shipping people out. Hitler did it. And my wife be saying this. Hitler did it, and let's keep it real. He's doing it now. He's doing it now. And Sherelle, you're right. What are they doing to these people? And people will say, well, he basically giving them death sentence. If you go to that prison in El Salvador, it's one of their worst prisons. I think it's really bad. What you getting out to if you got out? You ain't getting out. You there, it's a death sentence, basically. Let's keep it real. And they sending these people over there. That's probably why we ain't got the Maryland father back. They keep bullshitting around. I truly feel like something's going on with it. I feel like something's going on with that, to keep it real. But it's getting so bad that it's not even safe to go out. If you send in American citizens by mistake, if you Latino and Hispanic, and definitely if you undocumented, you can't even go to a damn checkpoint safely. They just ripping people from their home and doing every fucking thing they can. And this is a crazy story too. And this is how ruthless they are with it. With this right here, this is a Maryland mother. She's 52 years old. She's over here seeking asylum, right? She's in the car with her 18-year-old daughter. ICE come up. She said, well, can I see your, it's like ICE supposed to show some kind of paper or something. They won't show her nothing, so she won't open the door. They break the damn window and take the mother, 52 years old. And they saying that she's a part of MS-13. That's their thing. Either they dealing with DEI, you a DEI hire, or when they pick you up, you got a criminal record, and you either got a criminal record or you're part of the MS-13 gang. That's how they rolling. That's their excuse. So people are like, oh, Why shouldn't they deport gang members? Because asshole, they ain't gang members. If they was gang members, you can get them due process and let them go to court and either be proved guilty or innocent. Then maybe you can send them. But you just picking up innocent people, sending them over there. And this video I'm about ready to show you is a damn shame.
Deme la orden. Dele la orden. No le voy a dar la orden. La orden está en el No, pues no me voy a bajar. Entonces le tiene que. Si no me baja, si no, no me. No, no deja que lo revienten. No, if it's against. No. No me. You guys cannot take her just because you guys want No te preocupes, Karen, no te preocupes. Tranquilo. Tranquila, mamá. You guys are fucked up. Háblale a Ulises. You act like you want to have fucking kids. No te preocupes, mamá. Todo va a estar bien. Tenga cuidado, tenga cuidado. Gracias. Espérese, señora. Ponga el carro en parking. Está parqueado. Ok, déle el teléfono a su hija para poder sacarla sin que, porque hay vidrio por todos lados. No, yo voy a llevar mi teléfono. Okay, no se preocupe. Está bien. Tenga cuidado, despacio. No se preocupe, si me giro es su culpa. Wait! Espera. Don't grab her like that! Graba, mamá, graba. Don't grab her like that! No, yo voy bien. Don't grab her. Got him? Karen, llamarle a Ulises y se mueve en el carro. Oh my God. ¿Oíste? No te preocupes, mi amor. Yo estoy Mami, bien. Ellos no pueden no me importa si me mandan, Karen. Estoy Mami, bien. No. Permítame, no le voy a ir al conmigo. Mami, no. Mami.
So, that's the trip, right? And it's really sad because our president don't represent the country good. All our allies, the whole world look at us as idiots because we under his representation. Like fucking idiots, right? And you get the MAGA folks out there so deeply rooted with racism in their bones, and they blame their failures from their own life because they didn't go out and get a job. They didn't get an education. They didn't do this, but they blame their failures on minorities. So they come along and want to act like, deport this and my life will be better again. Your life would have been better if you would have got an education, got off your ass, got a job, and did something with yourself. But don't blame your downfalls on minorities. And that's what you're doing. You're looking for a damn excuse, MAGA people. And it's a lot of them bouncing in and out of here, by the way, supporting their boy Trump. And it's just pathetic. Just pathetic. Yep. And the Proud Boys are definitely losers and cowards. Because you know, like the MAGA folks, they only catch you in a corner. They ain't going to go to no public place and get rowdy. Because they know they'll get their ass whooped. But that's the deal, and that's the stories I got for today. I just wanted to come on it because you know what? At a certain point, when a man can't speak freely, they can riot the Capitol, hurt people, break windows, tear up the joint, throw shit on the wall. Nothing happens. But you go out there and protest peacefully, they want to ban them because they want to side with Israel. That's just my opinion. They don't want nobody saying nothing pro-Palestine. As if Israel get the only right to live. We all do. So I want to thank you guys for coming in, and please give this video a like if you haven't. And I'll catch you guys, I don't know, probably Monday, because I might get the grandbabies tomorrow. But thank you guys for coming, and I truly appreciate it. Until then, have a nice weekend.